Okay, this is Diallo, or Cafeteria Diallo. It's near a school. Well, I should know the school, but I don't know the name. There's two schools real close, so that's why there's a lot of business here. I'm going to eat breakfast here with my friend in a minute, but I'm going to make some videos trying to answer some questions from readers. I'm about a half hour early, so I'll be able to do a lot of questions. But I'm going to go sit at this table. Maybe I can get away with it without getting in trouble. Okay, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I'm in Lomé, Togo. I'm not sure you can see my face, but I think you can. Jacquie C. sent from her iPhone. Ask a question. She says she travels and plans trips with Kayak and Priceline. And she wants to know, she says, I use Kayak and Priceline to find the best deals. How do you plan trips? I plan trips a little bit different than you because I'm like in continuous plan a trip mode, right? So, first of all, I'm somewhat always planning the path of least resistance. In a way, what that means that if I was in Europe, I would be finding the cheapest airfare to the next place. I did that in Europe one time. I just kept getting on all the low-cost carriers, and when one of them popped up for 50 euros or something, I took off and did it. I use Kayak a lot. It's like an aggregator, right? It basically searches all the airlines. It's got like, there's Skyscanner, there's one Viama. I seem to always be buying tickets on Viama, but I initially found them on Kayak. Kayak will then send you, like I could get on Kayak and then do it. Now the bad part is, a lot of these, I'm in West Africa right now, so for me to buy a plane ticket, what I have to do is use a thing called TeamViewer, access the computer that's running 24 hours in America, and buy the ticket. So like I was on GoDaddy the other day, and I bought some services from GoDaddy, a domain thing, so I actually have to get on the American computer to buy it, because a lot of times they're just blocked here in West Africa. And I can't use PayPal hardly at all. They just instantly block me, then I got to call and sit on the phone for a half hour to get them open. But I worked my way through Kayak. I haven't really ever bought anything on Priceline. I did hear my friend saying Hotwire. He just went through the United States and he bought some stuff on Hotwire. And he said, you say the price you want, the neighborhood you want, and they'll find you a hotel at the price you want. Okay, the truth is, I will use anything available. Okay? But there's so many different strategies to get the best travel deal. Generally on hotels, I always, first of all, go to Lonely Planet. Okay, and Lonely Planet, I have the guidebooks on my computer and I can look at the page, and that'll give me a list of 5 of the cheapest hotels, and then I get the hotel and then I do it. But I mean, if you're talking about plane fares, first of all, I get on Kayak and I beat it to death, and I get on Travelocity. I get on there a lot and buy. And both of these companies, the airlines, unload their last-minute deals. So if I got a ticket, I don't know, for $200 that was going for $600 just between Guatemala and I don't know where I was going to, like say Colombia or Ecuador. And the problem was, it was $600 on a regular basis, but one day, just like, I don't know, 5 days before I wanted to leave, it popped down to $200. That was like an air consolidator. They just dumped the tickets in Travelocity and I bought the ticket. You got to understand it. If an airline has empty tickets, they have to dump them to fill up the plane. They used to call it air consolidators and all these different things, and they used to have special agents that they would say, we only sell published fares, but they would sell to this special group at a discount rate. And I used to use a guy, Marshall, out of Chicago. Well, he's never beaten any prices here for the last 2 or 3 years, and Kayak's always said, Kayak. Then, after I've gone through Kayak, Scanner, Viama, direct airlines, American to American, English to English airlines, and I've been monitoring it for about 4 or 5 days, maybe 2 weeks. I click on a lot of the ads on Kayak because sometimes the ads on Kayak, when they're keyed in, will give me the best aggregator. There's aggregators like Kayak that are centrally located to, like I showed in India, I was talking with my techie Andrew, partner, and he wanted to know how to get a cheap ticket to Thailand, and I got on a Kayak. Then I clicked on the ad and I found the aggregators that were putting together group tickets and working all the airlines of India going to Thailand. He used one of them and found a ticket for about half the price he originally came up with. And then after everything is done, after I figured out what I think is an excellent price, I normally run it across Jerome. Now I have a standing thing with Jerome where I sort of pay him a retainer fee. I have, I've given him, like Western Union him $100 a month or 2 ago, and then he breaks the deal. 90% of the time he can beat me. If it's a long haul ticket, he can beat me. But he gets more serious when you're actually ready to buy the ticket. I know that if I plan too far ahead, he sort of doesn't get so serious. But he can also help to make sure that I don't screw up on visas and I don't screw up on onward tickets, and he helps me do all these things. So how do I plan the trip? Any way possible. But I'm working about, say, 10 different systems, and it matters where I'm going. So like, I bought a ticket right here. I'm going to America. I bought a ticket directly from Brussels Airline at the counter over here at a thing, and I didn't get an e-ticket. Right? It was they gave me a number or something. Right? I'm still an e-ticket in a way, but I knew what the best price was. I beat it to death. I knew what Jerome says, and they were still $100 cheaper. So why? Who knows? But walking into the actual airline sometimes is good. In a city, normally there's always a travel agent that really is wise. There's a Lebanese guy here in Lomé, Togo that I tried to get a hold of, but he wasn't working that day. And I needed to leave the next day for Kara, so I ended up buying directly from Brussels Airlines. So planning your trip is the thing, but what I want you to always remember, when I'm planning a trip, I'm not planning a city. I'm making a hotel to hotel jump. I search for the hotel, make sure that I got a reasonable amount of money, because the price of the hotel for 30 days is sometimes more than the plane ticket, right? So I need to know that I can afford the hotel, and then I get to the hotel, and then I'm always upgrading the hotel, trying to get a cheaper deal but better value. And even inside a hotel, I'm making a better deal because I'll move around in the hotel and get the best room. I mean, some of the most expensive hotels in Lomé are on the main street in the worst possible place. There's just no way it's a good room. You really want a hotel that's never on a main highway. And if you're going to be on the main highway, then you want it to be up 30 stories, right? But then if you're in that, then you got so many people cleaning your room, you don't know who steals. So you can't win. But the best hotel is usually, like the Bellevue Hotel here in Lomé is it's in a neighborhood. It's only about 3 stories high, and it's only got about 20 rooms. And it's kind of your ideal tourist hotel, other than the fact that it's 5 times more than I would pay, right? And it's nothing to do with Africa. But it's a tourist hotel, right? Tourist hotel. Tourists do not want to come to Africa. They want to say they're in Africa. Okay, how do you plan your trip? Many different ways, but to get more specific, I do get on Kayak. It's one of my favorites. Travelocity, one of my favorites. Travelocity is more of an American-based one. Skyscanner, I've got on and tried to look for tickets a lot. That's what I can remember. There's a couple of these, Biso or something, that I hit them all. I have like 10 of them. I just keep hitting them. And one of them might actually be doing a route better than the other. Because like right now I'm doing a Lomé-Brussels route. That's not an American-based route, right? That's an African-based route. And some Actually, if I could get on a French website, they would probably give me a better ticket. Complicated stuff, and really, if you wanted to buy consulting, you know, I can get you consulting with Jerome, which will always guarantee that you get the best price. If nothing else, he's going to tell you the number you need to go to. You gotta learn the number that you're trying to hit. So if I'm trying to get from Lomi to Chicago, I'm trying to hit $700. I didn't hit it. But that's the number I know I should be hitting. About $700 anywhere on the planet. After I get above 700, I start to know I'm doing worse and worse and worse. I didn't do that good here. I did like $1,100 one way. And I took the ticket for many reasons. I basically have to go home. I have to go see where we're having a celebration of my father's death. And you know, there's so much time you invest before you put the extra couple hundred, as I'm working by the hour too, right? So if I spend 18 hours, am I really saving money, right? Very difficult stuff. But good question, Jackie. Thank you very much.